You can roll coverage, bring a safety over the top, put a spy on the quarterback, stack the box, and still watch the scoreboard light up. Today, we're counting down the 10 most unguardable NFL players ever. 10. Lamar Jackson. Calling. Lamar Jackson, a dual threat, feels too small. He is the rare quarterback who makes your edge rusher widen, your linebacker spy, and your safety cheat down, all before the snap, and it still does not matter. In 2019, he became the second unanimous MVP in league history with 36 passing touchdowns and an NFL quarterback rushing record of 1,206 yards. He later added a second MVP in 2023, proof that this is not a fad but a nightmare with staying power. Baltimore built an offense that weaponized his gifts with pistol looks, zone read, power read, and RPOs that forced every defender into a bind. Box him in with a wide alignment and he knifes through inside lanes. Walk a safety down and he layers quick game to Mark Andrews and his receivers, then punishes the first false step with a scramble that flips the field. He owns multiple 1,000-yard rushing seasons at quarterback, turns broken plays into explosives, and makes third and forever feel like a coin flip you do not want to call. You can assign a spy, drill contain, and preach leverage. Lamar turns coaching points into suggestions and suggestions into 6 points. 9. Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski was the mismatch that broke whiteboards. At 6'6" and around 265 pounds with long speed and violent hands, he erased the idea of a correct answer on defense. Corners got overpowered at the catch point. Linebackers could not carry him up the seam. Safeties arrived on time and still bounced off. In 2011, he set the single-season tight end record with 17 receiving touchdowns and 1,327 yards, then added a rushing score for 18 total. New England weaponized him every way possible. In line, he caved edges on outside zone, which forced base personnel. Then he released into stick, seam, and choice routes that ate the soft spots you left. In the red zone, it was pick your doom. Back shoulder from a reduced split, fade over the top, stick nod that throws a flat defender, or block and release off play action. Motion and stacks let him avoid press. Brady used him as a coverage tell, and once the ball was in the air, his catch radius turned tight windows into layups. Even in Tampa Bay after injuries, he ripped off clutch games, including 2 touchdowns in Super Bowl 55. You could bracket him or bang him at the line. You still lost the rep more often than not. 8. Tyreek Hill. First it is cushion, then it is panic. Tyreek Hill's speed changes how a defense breathes before the ball is snapped. Corners bail early, safeties widen, linebackers hesitate, and one hesitation is all he needs. In Kansas City, he turned deep overs, posts, and scramble drills into weekly detonations with Patrick Mahomes. In Miami, he proved the skill set travels, leading the league in receiving yards in 2023 with 1,799 and threatening the first 2,000-yard season by a receiver. Mike McDaniel's motion at the snap gives Hill a flying start that ruins press technique and stresses every pattern match rule in split safety coverages. Play off and he steals free comebacks, sit on the comeback and he hits the gas and runs by both levels. Bracket him and he drags 2 defenders out of the picture, opening space for Jalen Waddle and the backs on choice routes and RPOs. What makes him unguardable is not just track speed, it is the stop and start, the inside leverage cells, and the release package that defeats hands at the line. Even on short touches, tunnel screens and quick outs become explosives because his acceleration erases tackling angles. You can roll coverage, but the cheetah still finds daylight. 7. Adrian Peterson. Some runners make you miss. Adrian Peterson made you rethink your career choices. As a rookie in 2007, he set the single-game rushing record with 296 yards. Then in 2012, he returned from an ACL tear to win MVP with 2,097 rushing yards, just 9 short of the all-time mark. His style was violent ballet, that piston leg stride, the sudden jump cut, the stiff arm that turned tackles into suggestions. Stack 8 in the box and he still found daylight through creases that looked closed to everyone else. Bring a safety down and he ran through contact like it was a speed bump. Minnesota built entire game plans off his gravity. Linebackers took full steps on every play action because nobody wanted to be late to their gap when 28 got the ball. Even when defenses called it perfectly, he changed the math at the second level with acceleration that erased angles and turned a 3-yard run into 30. He was scheme-proof too. Zone, power, toss, draw. It did not matter. Give him a sliver and he made it a boulevard. You could sell out to stop Peterson for a half. Holding him down for 4 quarters was a hope, not a plan. 6. Calvin Johnson. If you built a wideout in a lab and asked for unfair, you would get Calvin Johnson, 6'5" with long stride speed that clocked in the mid 4.3 seconds, a 45-inch vertical by feel, and a catch radius that erased bad throws. Megatron turned coverage into a suggestion. In 2012, he set the single-season receiving yardage record with 1,964, beating brackets, clouds, and safety rotations that looked like basketball defenses. Detroit lined him up everywhere. True X with a reduced split to dodge press, stacked releases to force free access, motion into the slot for two-way goes. Corners could win early in the route and still lose late because Johnson's body control let him pin the ball through contact and finish through double teams. Need one game proof he was unguardable. In 2013, he hung 329 receiving yards on Dallas, the second most ever, while everyone in the stadium knew where Matthew Stafford was going. Red zone answers did not exist. Back shoulder, high point fade, slant with a shield, or a post that split the bracket. You could roll a safety at the snap or plaster him with press and help over the top. The ball still found 81, and 81 still found the end zone. 5. LaDainian Tomlinson. LaDainian Tomlinson ran like a point guard who could see two moves ahead. Vision, tempo, and balance turned good blocks into chunk plays and bad blocks into highlights. The peak was 2006, an MVP season that still feels mythical. 1,815 rushing yards, 28 rushing touchdowns, 31 total scores, and a league that ran out of goal line answers. But LT was never just a scorer. In 2003, he caught 100 passes out of the backfield and piled up more than 2,300 yards from scrimmage, proving you had to treat him like a slot receiver and a workhorse back at the same time. Stacked the box and he pressed the front side to pull linebackers a step, then carved back through a crease you did not know existed. Go light and he punished nickel personnel with inside zone and power. His Texas route was a third down cheat code, and his screen timing made free rushers look silly. San Diego could line up in two tight ends, motion him wide for a coverage tell, then bring him back home and make you wrong no matter what you called. He won back-to-back rushing titles in 2006 and 2007, scored in 18 straight games at one point, and forced coordinators into pick your poison Sundays. With LT, there was never a right answer, only a delayed realization that you chose the wrong one. 4. Jerry Rice. Every defense knew the route tree, nobody could prune it. Jerry Rice is the career leader in catches, yards, and receiving touchdowns, and he built that mountain with precision and cruelty. The West Coast offense gave him timing routes and quick rhythm throws, and he turned them into explosives with footwork that stole leverage at the line and pacing that made corners hesitate for half a step. That half step became 6 points. In 1987, he scored 22 touchdowns in only 12 games. In 1995, he stacked 1,848 receiving yards in an era that did not hand out free releases or friendly rules. San Francisco moved him like a chess piece. True X outside, reduced splits for two-way goes, motion to diagnose coverage, stacks to beat press. Corners tried to jam him and discovered iron hands. Safeties shaded his way and still arrived a beat late because his stems told the same story every snap until the last instant. Add the postseason resume, Super Bowl MVP, clutch drives with Joe Montana and Steve Young, and a habit of showing up biggest when the lights were bright. Rice did not overwhelm you with one trait. He weaponized many and never made the same mistake twice. That is what unguardable really looks like. 3. Randy Moss. Perfect coverage still felt like a bad idea against Randy Moss. As a rookie in 1998, he caught 17 touchdowns and turned Thanksgiving into a personal mixtape with 3 catches, 163 yards, and 3 scores. A decade later, he set the single-season record with 23 receiving touchdowns in 2007, proof that his vertical gravity aged like a prime fastball. Press him and miss by an inch, he was gone. Give cushion and he ate your angle with a glide that looked effortless. Defensive coordinators lived in 2 high shells just to survive, which handed the offense free numbers in the run game and underneath. Minnesota used him on go balls, posts, and deep overs that split safeties. New England paired him with precise timing and let him erase leverage on back shoulders and fades. At the catch point, he played like a power forward, high pointing over arms that were exactly where they should be. "You got mossed" became a phrase because he turned contested catches into routine outcomes. He led the league in receiving yards twice, in touchdowns twice, and forced week-long game plan adjustments that still failed on Sunday. You could bracket him, reroute him, and roll help early. The ball still found 84, and 84 still found pay dirt. 2. Barry Sanders playbooks say the back hits the A-gap. Barry Sanders treated that like a suggestion. He turned dead plays into jailbreaks and made world-class athletes miss in a phone booth. Across 10 seasons, he topped 1,000 rushing yards every year and finished with a clean 5.0 yards per carry for his career, the mark of a runner who created something from nothing on scheduled downs. The masterpiece was 1997. After just 53 rushing yards through 2 games, he erupted for 2,053 by season's end and tied a record with a run of 100 yards games that felt like a weekly tradition. Watch the tape and the physics look off. 1 foot in the ground, a jump cut at full speed, a spin that leaves a linebacker tackling air, then acceleration that erases angles you thought were safe. Defenses tried run blitzes, wide edges, and scraping linebackers over the top. Pursuit broke because one missed tackle became a chain reaction of bad leverage. He did it without a dominant deep passing game to scare safeties out of the box, which meant he saw heavy traffic and beat it anyway. You did not really stop Barry. You hoped the damage came in small doses and you prayed it was not the backbreaker. Aaron Donald offenses did not block Aaron Donald. They negotiated with him and hoped for mercy. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, with a 20.5 sack season from the interior, Donald lived in backfields as a free tech who detonated protections before they even set. Slide the line to him and he split the double with a cross chop so fast the guard looked late to the snap. Keep the back in to help, and he forklifted the guard into the quarterback's lap, collapsing the pocket from the inside where escape lanes go to die. Leave him one-on-one and the play sheet might as well go in the shredder. He beat centers with leverage, guards with speed, and tackles with hands so violent they felt like power tools. In Super Bowl 56, he ended Cincinnati's last drive by wrecking a 3rd down run, then forcing a desperation throw on 4th. That was the Donald experience in a nutshell. You could change the cadence, sprint out, run quick game, call max protect, even triple team on money downs. He still found creases, reset platforms, and turned clean reads into chaos. Unguardable on offense becomes unblockable on defense, and nobody embodied unblockable like Aaron Donald. That's our list of the most unguardable players ever. If you want more elite dominance, keep the momentum going with our video greatest rookie seasons in NBA history. It's queued up and waiting. See you there.